Thank you for coming tonight. This is a meetup for Kibana Lens. We're going to be discussing some of the newer features in Kibana, but specifically Kibana Lens. And I have our speaker here, Rashmi Kulkarni. Rashmi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Rashmi. I'm from the Kibana QA team. I work with Lee and Tim on Kibana team. And today I'm going to present, we released 710. It was a major release and part of it was Kibana Lens visualization, which I'm going to do a deep dive on and give a demo today.
Excellent.
In 2 minutes.
Yes, in 2 minutes, so we'll get started. I'm going to drop a little sort of housekeeping item here into the chat. Be sure to change your to in the chat to all panelists and attendees. That way, everyone can see your questions, not just the panelists, and everyone will have context for answers we'll provide. So be sure to do that. I always forget, and then I end up realizing I've just messaged everyone who's a panelist. So, and then the other thing is that we are very much dedicated to providing a positive experience for everyone. So if you would like to, you should feel free to take a minute and review our code of conduct. As participating in an Elastic community meetup, we all agree to adhere to the code of conduct. So if you're unfamiliar with that, take a look. And as we get started into this, don't be surprised if you see me commenting in the chat. I'll be sending out some links that will be helpful resources for you as you go through. So I think without further ado, we could probably go ahead and get started.
Hi, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to give a little demo about Kibana Lens and take you through the journey of Kibana from where we were to where we are now. So this would be my agenda. Talk a little bit about the Elastic Stack, a little quick history about Kibana, and then we'll start building charts in Kibana Lens, and we'll have a small question and answer session. And Tim and Lee would help me out in fielding the questions, if any. So the first one, so this little model, what you see here is our Elastic Stack. So there are three major solutions which are powered by the Elastic Stack. So this is just a small, if I were to explain it to somebody on a whiteboard, this would be my simple diagram. So the green layer, what you see here is the Elasticsearch. On top of it is our visualization engine and GUI, which is the Kibana. And then the beats and the logstash, these are our lightweight data shippers. And I would like to divide it into three major solutions, which is one is the Elastic Enterprise Search, and then observability, and then the security. So what happens here in the stack is you have tons and tons of data, raw data, which is available with you in some form. So you want to index that and you want to make some meaningful visualizations out of it in Kibana. So these the data might be in the form of log files or CSV files or any kind of raw files which you have. So we provide lightweight data shippers called as beats, or you might want to use another product which is Logstash, which provides grok patterns to ingest data and have some policy on top of your data which has been indexed into Elasticsearch. So these are the beats, I think in 710, we have the fleet agent, which combines all the beats and then it pushes the data into Elasticsearch. So I'll show you how that is done, how the data can be indexed into Elasticsearch. And once the data is in the heart of Elasticsearch, what you next do is you visualize this data and make meaningful derivations out of this data in the Kibana layer. So this is the basic backbone structure of what we are today. So going back a little bit in history, Kibana was started by our very own engineer called as Rashid Khan in 2011. So it looked something like this before, probably as I was talking to Lee about it. It was probably in Ruby during those times. It was developed in Ruby, and then we have come a long way from where we were to where we are now, and now we are on par with JavaScript, and doing great visualizations and so on and so forth. So this was when it was introduced to the community, 2011. It used to look like this. I just got this screenshot from somewhere. It looks like old Stone Age right now. But then after that, we have come a long way in introducing many visualizations like timeline. We introduced visualizations in 2014, and then we started adding rich new visualizations every other year. The one being timeline, TSPB, and Vega. Then 2018 was full about maps. And 2019, at the end, probably at the end of November of 2019, we started with Kibana Lens. And today I'm proud to say that Lens is GA. GA means generally available. It is production ready, and we are committed to support production ready use cases with Lens. So this is the brief history. So where does this Kibana Lens reside? So this is your window to your Elastic Stack, right? The home of the Lens, as we call it, is under here, Visualize. It stays here. You cannot see Lens as soon as you log in, but it is grouped under Visualize here. I'll show you where it is, but this is how is your left-hand menu where your home of your Lens is in this Visualize. So as I said before, this whole stack is your window for analyzing the data, and it is kind of I bring in data from different sources, ingest it into Elasticsearch, try to make meaningful data out of whatever being indexed, and then it's fun to have permutations and combinations of this data and manage your stack for by analyzing the data. So, and also monitoring and managing the stack. So for example, if you're a NOC operator, right, say a network operation center operator, and you have rich source of data indexed into your Elasticsearch, and you have machine learning alerts put on top of your rich index data, you whenever there is a memory leak or a CPU high usage or a node goes down or something of that sort happens, you can always have a machine learning alert on top of your data and get alerted and start monitoring and managing your stack. So there are various different use cases what this Elastic stack gives you the ability to experiment. So as I said, so once you deploy your Elasticsearch, you index your data, and then you start analyzing your data. This is how I would like to understand. This is how I have understood what it is. So first you index the data into Elasticsearch, then you analyze the data. Then this data can be grouped into different Elastic solutions. Analysis is done by first you discover what kind of data you are having in terms of histogram, and then you start visualizing, making meaningful visualizations, and then adding them to your dashboard. Dashboard is a collection of visualization which makes sense if you have to present it to somebody. And then there are canvas workpads, and if you have GeoIP index data, you can always use maps application for seeing the data points. Point to point is one very easy maps aggregation. And then, as I said, you can have a machine learning alerts on top of your data which you are analyzing. The next set, which I say that it is Elastic Solutions, is the metrics, logs, APM, uptime, and SAME. So you are having these solutions, whatever rich data you have indexed, you are classifying or segregating them into your logs, whether it is logs or it is uptime. You are seeing the health of your system, or you are analyzing your logs. All these are Elastic solutions. And then for every node or for every cluster, what we call, you always need to monitor this and manage your stack, whether it being data centers or whether you are self-monitoring. You need some kind of tools to monitor your data which has been indexed, right? So we provide dev tools, stack monitoring, and management. So each of these sections, what you are seeing here, is a wealth of knowledge under these every little app. I will go over a few of the major important ones, but majorly focusing on visualizations today. So this is where you monitor your stack, send some API requests, or see what is the health of your cluster, so on and so forth. Next comes the 710 release. We are proud to announce that the 710 release is in the hands of the community, and it was released yesterday, and it is loaded, and the lens goes GA, generally available in 710 release. So the 710 release themes, right? I just dropped this. This might be a little out of context, but I would like to touch upon this. So Elastic Stack 710 release themes was first was storing and searching data. There is a great searchable snapshots area where I don't want to go deep into that. That's another meeting for it. But that was one theme. The ad hoc analysis lens, Kibana took the mainstream, and it was because of the ease of use, intuitiveness, and then helping a newbie or an experienced Kibana user to analyze his data and make meaningful conversations with your data, and that was a major thing in Kibana Lens that went GA. So, and then the other theme was drill down actionable Kibana, where how you could from the Kibana dashboard you could get meaningful insights, and with a single click you could do so many things inside the drill downs of the dashboard. So this was the major three release themes of 710. Yeah, this was one celebration slide which I put. Makes me feel happy. Let's go into Kibana Lens demo. So with Lens being GA, what does GA mean? With this, we are giving this power in the hands of our customers and users to use this product for production level use cases. So that's not a small thing, because there are like several companies which are waiting for this to be GA for our commitment to make this better and better over time. So this was available as a beta feature for a long time. We have improvised it over and over again, and now we make it GA. And yeah, this is what I would like you all to after this webinar, I would want you to go to our website cloud and download 710 on GCP on different platforms like AWS, GCP, or Azure, and try out this the whole of this whatever exercise I'm doing. It's available with your in your fingertips, and you have a 14-day free trial for this on cloud. And with launching this on cloud, you just don't get access to Lens. You get access to many different features like what I had said before. So I would highly encourage you all to spin up your own cluster. It's a 14-day free trial, and try it out. Okay, so this is the last slide, but before that, I'll go into the demo. For the ease of use, I have installed 710 release candidate on my local, and this is also on cloud. So how it looks on local and cloud. So this is where I am. This is my Kibana homepage. So when I log in, this is what I get. This is the landing page, as I can say. So here, right, Kibana, for the ease of use, you can ingest data in several different ways. Either you can have an Elastic agent pump data into your Elasticsearch, or you can upload a CSV or a JSON or a log file, or there are several different ways of ingesting data into Elasticsearch. For the ease of use of this seminar, what I have chosen is we have some pre-built visualizations and pre-built dashboards in our sample data which we have indexed. So one is the sample e-commerce data, the flight data, sample web blogs data. So how it goes is I can remove this and show how it is before. As you can see, there are like several ways of ingesting data into your Elastic Stack. So these are the three major pre-built sample data. For the ease of use, I'm just going to add this data. By adding this data, what it is doing backend is it is creating an index pattern. It is creating rich pre-built visualizations. It is creating adding these rich visualizations to data sample dashboards, and then you could start experimenting with your data. So now, as you can see, I have indexed this data. And see, before I dive into the Lens demo, I want to show you how a typical dashboard, pre-built dashboard would look like. This is a sample e-commerce data, so it has a lot of men's clothing, female clothing, then what kind of shoes, whatever. So this is a typical dashboard, what it looks like. So it is a pre-built one. So these are all the visualizations which are here. So I want you to take a closer look at this, and then after we create our lens visualization, we can always go ahead and add our visualizations here. So as you can see, the left hand side menu, what I talked in the this one is, here is where you are discovering your data. This is how your data will show for the last 7 days. The for sample data, e-commerce data, this is how your histogram would look like, and this is how your landing page of Discover would look like. So you start analyzing the data here by seeing what kind of fields are there, what is a meaningful field for you, and what do you want to do out of these fields, right? So this is where you're discovering your data. So, and then dashboard is something which I told you, these are the pre-built dashboards, or you can always build once you have completed all the visualizations. So, and then this is the visualization landing page. This page here, you can see, this is the visualization. If I had I not got the sample data indexed, this would be empty. But since I have pre-built sample data indexed into my Elasticsearch, you are seeing a whole lot of pre-built visualizations which are here. So let's start by creating a new visualization. So this is your visualization landing page. Make note of this. We are going to promote Lens in such a way that Lens would be the go-to place for you to start creating any kind of visualization going forward, followed by TSVB next. So there are a whole lot of improvements coming along onto Lens, and there is a meta ticket which we are following up. I will paste that. I think I have. Oh yeah. I do have this meta ticket here, which lists the rich different features which are going to come up later in the game for Kibana Lens. So let's start here. So this is your go-to lens. Go-to lens. So this is what your landing page of your lens looks like. So what you see here is you're selecting your these are the different index patterns which are available. One was the sample data, sample logs, sample e-commerce data, and then this is the left-hand side menu, which is showing all the breakdown of all the important fields here for you. And here is your drag and drop, and you can do amazing visualizations here. And then this side of the chart would be to add ranges, add filters, add customize it, break it down by your buckets, and so on and so forth. So let's start. So the very simple, why I say that it is very easy to use for a new Kibana use person, or a person who has been using Kibana for a very long time, is because it is very intuitive. What I mean by intuitive is, I just dropped here the number of records, right? For the look at here, this is the last 7 days which I've picked, and this is the count of records which I'm showing. So this shows you a stacked bar chart of all the visualizations which of all the data which is the count of records, and the order for it intelligently picks it for this time, and it is giving you smart suggestions here. One is the current view here, and then this one is the metric of the overall count for all the 7 days, which is the 1041 records, or whether it's a line chart. It is intelligently suggesting you already that you what kind of visualizations you might want to build going further. So do I need to pause here and take some questions, or Lee, are you good? Lee and Tim, are you good?
I don't see any questions in the chat yet, but somebody can unmute, I think, if they have questions.
We did have one question, Rashmi, which was if you would be willing to make your deck available after the meetup.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So what I can do is when we post the video, so if you go back to where you RSVP'd for this event and you look at past events, the deck and the video will be linked there. And I'll send it out in a follow-up email as well.
Maybe people that are attending want to just put in the chat if they're using Kibana, what version they're on. Maybe they're already using the beta version of Lens. If you want to just give any feedback on that.
Yeah. We have our product manager also who can take the feedback and give it to you. Yeah. So yeah, while you all do that, let me continue. This is what I did, right? I just dragged and dropped into this amazing middle field here where I am visualizing the number of records, and see the y-axis is the count of records, and then the x-axis is by the order date. And it is already giving me smart suggestions here. The another beauty I want to show you here is you can choose what kind of a data you want to, what kind of visualizations you want to do, whether it is you want it via percentage. So it is always 100% over this, or you could do a data table. So data table is just like a table where it is you're having all your data indexed. So what I would like to do is play around with what kind of charts these are available, and why you see this triangle here, tree map, this one, because there is no concept of timestamp in a pie chart. So that is why you see a triangle here. It is giving you, if I hover over this, it gives you a small little tip. Switching to this chart will lose some of your configuration. So it is giving you a nice little tip here. So these are the various different visualizations that you are intuitively building here. And then in 710, we also started showing the legends in the, it is by default, it is auto, but then you can always show it or you can hide it. And then it appears here. So now let's make it more fun. So let me take out this records, count of records. I'm going to reset the layer. Reset the layer would bring you back to square one, where you are again in your drag and drop field. So let's make it, because this is sample data e-commerce, and there are field filters here too. You could always filter by a string, and this will give you only the string data. So with here, what would be good here would be, I could use a gender, customer gender, stacked by percentage bar chart, or maybe area chart. These are all the things which okay, so here, right, male and female. So this is what I wanted to show you. So these are the count of records divided up by male and female. That is what it is showing here. And then if I want to, make it as a stacked bar chart, so it is value of customer gender over the count of records. It is intuitively telling you all these things. So now let's look at one more field here. So let's look at some, am I filtering it by, yeah. If you hover over this string of a tax amount and then tax full price, this seems a little interesting to me, to see what kind of percentage the tax full price of each product prices. So this seems a little interesting. So let me just drag and drop it here. And then this one, this is a, instead of doing a average, let us do a sum of products of this, and let's see how this looks. And then also add and break it down by gender. So you can see here the legends, customer sum of product of taxable price, and then the count of customer, a unique count of customer legends. It is already showing up here, and then let's display it as a table. Let's see how does it look as a table, and then
Actually, I think you might want to. I think you might want to move that gender up to the X.
x-axis. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I think that's going to split the
Let me take out the
or down to the breakdown by field.
break it down. No, actually, I can. Yeah, customer gender. Yeah. So I am breaking down the products of tax full price by the gender here, and this is how it looks. I'm pretty happy with this kind of a visualization, and it is already giving me smart suggestions as to this would be a bar chart and how it would look like. So, would this be meaningful to me? Yeah, maybe I will use this and add it to my dashboard and see how this takes the real estate and looks how does it look. And if you hover over these, it is already giving you the legends here. So this is something which I and then there are many other fields like if you drop to add, so you can always change it but to a unique count or a sum or whatever, but then I would just leave it at this. And then what I would do is, so another beauty of this is it's like if there you have any empty fields also, it is segregating it and it is showing it. And if you want to get really fancy of adding two different index patterns, you should probably have a common there should be some kind of a commonality between two index patterns, some kind of a common ground where your some fields are matching, and then you could have stacked index patterns, different visualizations, and stack it up. So this is pretty neat. And let me save this. Uh, so I have saved this one. So now let us go back and see how it looks like in our visualization. It would have saved it here. It is the you can always look it up. Come back to your dashboard here. Let's go to your e-commerce. Where is it? Revenue dashboard. This is your sample e-commerce data which I had shown you before, and then probably we'll start editing this and then add our newly created visualization to this. It's been added. Added. So it I did it twice. So this is where it adds it to the very bottom of the dashboard. So I would want this to actually take up a good uh, real estate. So let me place it here, all the way here. So this is my lens visualization, which I have embedded into my sample e-commerce data dashboard. And then what I'm going to do is either I can, first I'll save this. Either you can save it as a new dashboard or you can overwrite these. All these are saved objects and you can overwrite these. So I'm going to just overwrite it for now. And then there are options of, emailing this whole entire dashboard to your team, or say, for example, where is the, okay. So this is what I wanted to make it a full screen to see how it looks, the entire thing, make some meaningful visualizations out of this. So you can always add more or delete more. The one which I was talking about, drill downs, are from, you can always customize the time range, maximize the panel. It gives you inside the options to, make something more from these options here. So this is what I wanted to, show you. But then I'm open to questions, and then let's take up questions if there are any. So that is what, and then the finally what I wanted to show is uh, try this on our cloud platform, and then there is, it's already generally available, and spin up a cluster, install the latest version, and or if you already have, just upgrade it to 710 GA, and then give it a try. And then this is a meta issue which we are tracking to go over all the lens further future improvements. So we are always open for in discuss forums for questions, and let us know how you feel or how you already use it. That would be my demo. Any questions? Or Lee, if you want to add some more, Lee and Tim.
One thing is if you went through the other visualization editors, you'd kind of see the difference of how Lens makes it easier to to switch between. Like if you just create a line chart the old way in Kibana, which you can still do, you can't just switch it to a bar chart, you know. So Lens gives you a lot more flexibility in that regard.
Yeah,
A lot more suggestions for things you can quickly just switch to.
that's true. I already thought of an enhancement. So have some pre-built lens visualizations and add it to our pre-built system data, the data sample data already, so that people, before building that, they have a feel of how and when it would look, how it would look. Sample data. So that is it would come here, and then you would start exploring it right away.
Yeah, Rashmi, I can add to that. So we actually are thinking about the sample data, and one of the things we want to do now that Lens is GA is start working with the solution teams to add this kind of data directly in Lens. So when you install a beat or you install something that generates data, you get some Lens saved objects right out of the box as data that you can use, or as visualizations that you can use. So that's definitely on our to-do list. So yeah, that's a great call out.
The main thing what I like about this is the flexibility what it is giving, and the smart suggestions or the analysis what it is doing as a Kibana engine backend. I don't have much idea about how it is aggregating all that, but then from the front end GUI perspective, it is already showing you various different options to pick and choose from. That is the flexibility part of it, and the smart suggestions part of it. And that's how it gives you that ability to mix and match and then play around with the data in that drag and drop field. It's just as easy as that. Here. And significantly, this would change. This would change, and Lens would be our go-to visualization. That would be the first one to look at. That is what it is. Phoebe, do you have any questions which we could answer?
I don't see any in the Q&A, and I don't see any in the chat. People should feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself to ask a question, or you can type it into the chat or the Q&A feature. Yeah, if not, we can go ahead and close early and let people have time back into their evening. I know that Zoom fatigue is a real thing, and all of us probably spend quite a bit of time on video conferencing during the day since we're all working remotely these days. But please do take that. We'll take another minute to kind of see if anybody has any further questions. And please feel free to ask questions that are unrelated to this presentation. If you have questions about Elastic, or if you have questions about, any other aspect of the stack, you've got some very technically deep folks here, so this is a great time to ask those questions. I do want to call out that I did drop some links into the chat. Oh, we do have a question. Are there more videos like this on the website? Yes. Thank you, Laura, for your question. So one of the links that I posted here in the chat is to our community YouTube channel. All of our meetups are recorded and hosted there. So you can go and check out that we have playlists for different solutions. So you can go and see. And Rashmi has done a presentation on Kibana for us before. And you can probably just type in her name in the search bar and it will come up. So, and they are very informational, so I highly recommend. So how do we get started? Where to start? That would be a great question, Lee and Rashmi.
Yeah, to get started, I would highly recommend you to, dive straight into 7.10 and install it on the cloud, which is 14-day free trial.
I did post a link to the cloud trial page up further in the chat. So if you scroll back up, it says Elastic Cloud Trial. If you click on that, it should take you directly to the page where you can enter in your information and get access to that trial.
Right.
That is the easiest way. And then find that add sample data, and you can pick one or all three. You can just click those buttons and add them. And then each of those has a button to view the data. You can go look at the dashboard, change the time scale or the time picker. And then I would probably go to like discover and look at the different index patterns and discover, and you can create table views there. Then you can learn how to search, filter, a lot of things you can do there, include or exclude results, and look at what you want to see. And then from there, go into creating visualizations would be my suggestion for if you're new to the whole stack. And then downloading Elasticsearch and Kibana is pretty easy to do, and just you can start them up with essentially no configuration at all on like your home computer or laptop on Windows or OS X, and you can just start playing with your own. And even if you install it locally on your computer at home, you can still click on that add sample data and do the same thing as you can on cloud.
This is where you come. This is where you come here, click on products, view all products. Then you start seeing your things here, and then you can either deploy it on cloud or ECE or on Kubernetes if you're inclined to do that, and then or on your local. So and start reaching out. So there are different. There was one blog post which I have linked here. It is generally available, and this also has in the end how do you get started with the Elastic stack. So or else go to Kibana forums where we have where all our engineers are fielding the questions, or head on to GitHub issues and then post your issues there. And this is where you install your latest versions from. All these are linked inside of this, and I'm going to share this with you. Phoebe will help me share. I don't know how to share.
What do you need help sharing with?
These slides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there is one more. Oh, yeah. So we will. So unfortunately, Peter, she won't be able to share her slides directly with you because they're housed on an Elastic Google platform. But we will go ahead and put. Thank you, Tim. I was just going to ask for that. Actually, I know that there's tutorials for each one of those for Kubernetes and for Kibana, and as well as APM. But going back to why we can't share the slides directly in this chat, we have to export them out to a hosting site to share them with you. So we'll do that, and then we'll follow up with an email. So unfortunately, not directly this evening. All right, any other questions?
There is a webinar also coming up on Lens. I would link that also inside that, and people can register to that webinar and watch it. It would be by our product marketing people, so it would be more content should have.
I just dropped a quick link into the chat that is just a list of tutorials for Elastic, and there are all kinds, but it starts out with a Kibana 4-video tutorial series and some blog posts, so I would check those out as well if you're getting started with Kibana.
Actually, in Lens itself, I would have loved to show many more features like ranges. You could add ranges. You could filter by a particular field, and then you could break down certain fields more and try to visualize that more, and then combine two index patterns. But then it would run more time. So for the paucity of time, I am giving more time for questions, and then keeping it centric to the basics and building on top of it. Yep. Tim, I can ask you one question. How is the community reacting to Lens? I mean, like, how are they adopting?
Yeah, I can take a stab at that. So one of the reasons we wanted to release Lens GA in 7.10 is because we've had so many people adopting Lens, and the adoption rate is going really well. But we also have a huge number of people that are waiting for this GA announcement before they invest heavily in it. So we're super excited to see people start using it now that we have it generally available. We have a lot of really good traction with it. We have a lot of requests for features. A lot of the things that are coming up are just adding more calculations and more aggregations, cumulative sum, derivatives, rates, more and more things that people are going to want with a really high-powered visualization tool. But we're super excited to see the number of people that are starting to use it.
Thank you. Lee, do you want to add some more?
Nope. It's basically our cloud offering. Of course, you're paying for hosting on our service, but if you download and run it on your own hardware, this is a free basic licensed feature, so you can run it with forever at no cost.
Yeah,
free.
It's free.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, and if you have any questions as you're going through and getting started, we have a community Slack workspace. So there are channels in the community Slack workspace for all of the solutions. So you can go into machine learning, you can go into Kibana, you can go into Beats, Logstash, APM, Kubernetes. There's channels for everything. So feel free to join that. It's free. and open to everyone. And yeah, you can ask questions there. Although I will say that the more technical your question, the more likely we're going to direct you to our Discuss forum, which I also linked to there. All right. Well, we got some positive feedback. So thank you. It's great to hear that this was great. I did also drop in a link to a survey. We do love to hear back from you if you have time. It's a really super fast survey. And yes, I will send out an email to everyone who RSVP'd. And Laura, you did. I can see that. So yes, you will get a follow-up email with the links to the deck and the recording.
There was one question by Peter, which I want Tim or Lee to answer.
Right. Yes, good catch.
On OpenShift?
Yep.
OpenShift has Kubernetes, but I need a tutorial to set it up correctly for the pods, honestly.
I don't personally know about that. On our Discuss forums, you can search. And so try OpenShift there and you might find that. And if you don't, ask the question there. And, other people in the community also can answer that on the forum.
Thank you.
Yep. So you will get the decks sent out, and yeah, Phoebe will help us in wrapping this up. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. And
yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much, Rashmi, Tim, and Lee, for joining and for lending your time and expertise. And to all of you who joined from the community, thank you so much. We couldn't do these meetups without you, so we're glad that you came, and hopefully it was helpful. Don't forget to, we'll prolong this just a little bit if there's any more of those links that are in the chat that you want to cut and paste out. But do keep in mind that you can and will find this on our community YouTube channel. It should be out next week. And yeah, well, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Everybody stay healthy and happy and stay safe. Yeah, exactly. And we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and close it down unless anybody has any last questions. Thank you so much, Rashmi, for putting together this great presentation.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for my teammates. Have always held my back.
That is the awesome thing about Elastic. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful evening. I'm going to go ahead and end this for everyone, and we'll see you back at our next meetup sometime in the future.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.